I'm not gonna ask you again. Give me that goddamn video game.
What's up, my dudes? Void Moon here. So it is exactly midnight on the 2nd, right when servers will go down for a 24-hour maintenance. And now we wait for Endwalker. And I'm just about to check out the 6.0 patch notes. I haven't checked them out yet. I'm excited to do that, so I figured I'd make a video and do some commentary on it. Why not? I got nothing else to do for the next 24 hours. I also apologize for how shaky the screen is. My computer setup is currently on a IKEA table, not a desk, a table, so it's like really wobbly. So I'll try to keep it as little wobbly as possible. Also, thank you all to my new subscribers. Welcome, and all of you that have been supporting me over at Twitch, thank you. All right, so let's get into 6.0 finally. All right, so it looks like it's going to start with new cities, Old Charlayan, which is gonna be friggin' sweet, and we gotta talk to Alizé, and oh man, that looks cool. And Alpha No's dad, he's such a dick. That looks pretty cool. It's what I would think of when I would think Charlayan. I didn't expect it to be like that wide open, but it still looks pretty cool. All right, this is the when I keep seeing, when I was looking at screenshots before, I kept seeing this town, Radzatan. It's got a lot of Indian architecture and some South Asian. It looks cool. I just hope it's not too, we don't spend too much time there, because these cities that are like really super influenced by like real life places kind of get a little old to me. Like in Stormblood, like the entirety of that mostly was just a Japan and China analog, and it just kind of wasn't the greatest aesthetics to me. So hopefully not too much time is spent here. A good amount, because it does look cool, but I would hope not to spend most of my time there. I want a fantasy setting, not just a setting that I would see. I could just go there and see it in real life. Labrintos. Okay, so I saw, when I was looking at the previews of this, I was wondering if this was on the moon, because it looks like it's in some kind of giant dome. But, you know, looking at this again, I don't know if it's going to be, or it's called Labrintos, and I guess I'm not familiar enough with the lore if I should know what that is. Could be underground or something, and that could be a fake sky or something. I'm not sure. Maybe those are just holding up that light. I don't know. Okay, so see, we got another town here. It's based on, like, looks like Thailand and stuff like that. So more of that aesthetic. I mean, it does look cool for the aesthetic. I just, again, just really going off of real life stuff. The boats look really cool. Kind of give me a Final Fantasy X aesthetic. It's pretty cool. Oh, Garlemald looks cool. Of course it would look all evil and spiky. Dark Knight Haven. Oh, and here we got the moon. That looks pretty cool. Definitely the Asian aesthetic to it. That's cool. Now, see, I like the fantasy stuff like this, where you couldn't actually go to some kind of Asian city, and it doesn't really have too much architecture from the real world, which is, some of it, it's fine, like castles and stuff like that. That's cool, because it could be like, I know you can go to a castle in real life, but I don't know, it's not as jarring to me as how much of Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood was just all Japan. But maybe I'm hypocritical, because of all of Heaven's Ward was, like, you know, European looking. So maybe I'm just biased here. Looks cool. Okay, new city and field aetherites. Oh, that's a cool looking aetherite. Whoa, okay. That one's pretty sweet. And it looks like we got some kind of snowy area right outside. I'm guessing that's Garlemald over there. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see the number of aether currents in all of Heaven's Ward. Stormblood and Shadowbringers areas has been reduced. Furthermore, the location of certain aether currents has been adjusted. Okay, that's freaking awesome, because I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm just now getting into the game hardcore, because I've been playing since 1.0. I play every expansion, play through the storylines, then I usually quit and then come back at the end, play through the storylines, and then quit till the next expansion after like a month in, maybe 2. And this time I'm actually really getting into it, so if you can't tell by all the videos I'm making. But so in all those expansions, I never got any of the aether currents, so I can't fly in any of those other zones. And I've been playing WoW. Well, not anymore. I quit earlier this year, but I played WoW since the Gates of AQ40 released, and I did tons of in-game stuff. I have everything capped at max level on several servers. I put my life into that game basically. I never unlocked flying in all the places you have to unlock flying when they first came out ever. I always just did it in the future. And then eventually when you had to do quests and stuff for like Battle for Azeroth, I never unlocked that afterward. I hate unlocking flying. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to go back. I got so much to do. But anyways. Alright, quests. Let's see. Introduce myriad of quests in addition to the main scenario. Make cases. Okay. Of course. Yeah, so they're going to add quests. Who would have guessed? Ooh, that's some cool new footage there. Thancred, it looks like. Got the twins. I thought they were supposed to look older or something. I guess, you know, it's going to take place right after Endwalker, so I guess they don't have to look older right away, but cool. Cool, cool. Ooh, who is that? Can't really tell who that is, but looks pretty cool. Side stories. Ooh, what? Side stories added in patch 6.0 will employ an automatic level adjust system known as Quest Sync. Using the system will have their difficulty and EXP rewards adjusted to match your current level. Okay, that is freaking cool. Certain side story quests do not use Quest Sync. That's awesome. That way, when you're replaying the game, and if you don't want to do, it just adds another way to level, because quests, like, once you burn them out for that area, you couldn't go back to another area because they're too low level. They wouldn't give you enough experience. The mobs wouldn't give you enough experience. So this is cool. It gives you a reason to do all these quests in all the other zones while you're queuing for stuff and things like that. Although I still wish you could replay the story and at least get like 75% of the experience that you would get. That would be cool, because when I came back to this game, I totally had forgotten like everything that happened because I hadn't played for like 2 years. And I had to watch like all these videos online to like kind of get like a recap of what was going on, because I just wanted to go back and just replay it myself, but it didn't give you experience, so it just wasn't worth it for me. Role quests have been added. Physical DPS, divide them into 2 categories: melee physical and range physical. Okay, cool. Of course they had to do that because they added Reaper. Yeah, it sucks that we just got role quests instead of class quests, because some of those class quests are really cool and it really made you feel like your character, you know. I get why they didn't do it though. As soon as, like, that's so much work to put into the game, and to have to do it for every single class, and eventually, you know, keep adding classes to the game. It looks like two expansion. It looks like it's gonna be. It's just gonna get so overwhelming. So I see why they did it. It sucks that they had to do it, but I understand why. So I'm not gonna take away too many points. Okay. This is telling you who you start with. Tanks or Radzahan. Okay, makes not much sense. Alright, well, that's cool. It's just saying where it starts at. Studium deliveries have been added. What is that? Each disciple of the hand or land will be able to progress through one of 5 series of quests associated with the different faculties of the studium. Completed deliveries for a faculty of the studium will advance the story in that particular faculty. Oh, cool. So they added like new quests for crafters and gatherers, which I really haven't got into until very recently. Like I said, I never really get into trades or professions, whatever the game calls them, in games, although I'm probably going to in Final Fantasy XIV eventually. I started doing cooking a little bit, but I just ran out of time. But that's cool. More quests for them. Completing. So that's cool. Let's see what else we got here. Certain instance battles will now display character portraits alongside the battle dialect. Which, okay, that's not much. Leaves, new tradecraft and fieldcraft leaves have been added. No tradecraft leaves or Fisher fieldcraft leaves allow multiple turn-ins have been added. Yeah, so they were saying something about that in the last live letter. How they're going to be changing the experience you get from tradecraft and fieldcraft leaves as well, because apparently they're giving way too much experience in their opinion. So they're going to reduce that a lot, which I hope that you guys read that or seen it, because apparently it's going to be pretty big difference. They even like kind of laughed when they said that, so that's a little spooky. But I mean, I guess it makes sense because those would level you up super quickly, and you could just buy the stuff off the market board. Experience points when rewarded when turning in class quests. Experience Experience points rewarded when using a class at 80 or above to complete a leave with the level requirement below level 80 have been capped at 1,000. Oh, that's awful. Okay, I don't understand the reason for that. Maybe there was... I don't get it. Okay. With consideration of the inflation of gil and potential rewards for using a single leave allowance, the following adjustments have been made. Experience points and gil rewarded by trade craft leaves only allow a single turn in have been increased. Okay, seems reasonable. Okay, so they added more fates. Oh, that guy looks cool. Kind of ridiculous. Is he holding a freaking drum with 2 snakes wrapped around it? Okay. Pretty cool though, I guess. It's more of that that aesthetic for that they're doing, like the Thailand and India kind of look. You can even see with the colors in the background. Players will receive bicolor gemstones on completing fates in 6.0 areas. This currency can be exchanged with gemstone traders for various goods. Oh, that's cool. That gives you another reason to do fates. Although I doubt with all the good ways to level in the game that fates are going to be popular anymore still. Furthermore, as you complete fates in these new areas, gemstone traders will offer a wider selection of items. Oh, so it's giving you incentive to not only just find the best fates in one area, but to do fates everywhere. So it kind of, I guess it's going to get more people out and doing stuff, especially if those gemstone traders offer like cool stuff like glamour or something like that. Then you can probably see more people going out there, because if you go to old areas right now, you'll never see anyone doing fates hardly. Like, it's very rare. Even on the populated server, I hardly run into it because there's so many better ways to level, which is a good and bad thing, because if you remember back in A Realm Reborn, like that's all you did was fates to level. Like, it's the only way to do it. Treasure hunts. Okay, so basically new treasure hunts. Granted free companies. Additional items will be Reaper and Sage symbols have been added. Woo! New craftable items. Okay. Yep. Housing. Alright. Now this is cool. Following the successful restoration of the firmament, a new housing district, Imperium, has been added to Ishgard. That is freaking awesome. If I could afford a house, that is where mine would be. I really do like Gridania, but Ishgard is really freaking awesome too. And I play a paladin, so that's where my house will be. In preparation for the lottery sale system, it will no longer be possible to relocate estate to plots of land that are not yet ready for purchase. Okay. But thank God that they're doing the lottery system finally. I mean, I can't even afford it. I'll never be able to afford one probably, but lottery sale system is such a good idea. I wonder, I think it's still going to get bought out by botters and stuff though, because they can afford to have like all their bots get in the lottery and then just funnel money over to them or something. So it is somewhat of a good idea, but I don't think it's really going to solve the inherent problem of the bots, unfortunately, but this is just something you can't really fix, I guess. Furnishings for the contests. Ooh, cool. New furnishings. Nice. Ooh. According to the increased level cap, 90 Thavnarian striking dummies have been added in, and once again, it's got that that Thailand kind of look to it. This is worrying to me. Everything is getting that Thailand aesthetic. I don't want an Indian aesthetic. I don't want to go, and Cambodia, I guess that's what it is, Cambodian. But I really. I don't want just that aesthetic the whole freaking time, because even nowadays, depending on where you go in the game, most people still go to Limsa, but if you go to Kugane, it's just everybody wearing like samurai stuff and like fucking kimono and stuff. Just I hate this, because it's cool in the future, like you have those areas to go back to if you like that aesthetic. But spending an entire expansion in that area if you don't like it kind of sucks. So I'm worried. Maybe I could just spend my time on the moon. New aquarium fish have been added. Cool. Cool. Okay, new gold saucer stuff. Cute. New cards. New opponents for Triple Triad. I still have not played that. I think was Triple Triad, wasn't that the one in Final Fantasy VIII? I think that's the only card game I actually liked in any of the Final Fantasies. I tried the one in 9, and I just didn't get into it quite as much as I did the 8 one. I'm just not a huge card guy. I guess when I got into it so much in Final Fantasy VIII was because that was like before the internet and stuff. And so like there wasn't really much to do. You got a game and then you played it and you got everything done with it because you had nothing else to do. You had to know the games. I was like, what, 12, 13? I was like 13 when that game was out or something. Yeah. Players can now select male Vieira. Oh, okay, yeah. We're definitely just going to see nothing but bunny boys for a long time. They look basically like Catboy bodies with bunny ears. I don't know. They look a little uncanny valley to me, but I know they're going to be super, super popular. I'm going to stick to my Catboy. New hairstyle options have added to the female Vieira. Cool. Yeah, they got to have a lot of hairstyles since the hat thing. New face option has been added to male Midlander, so now you can look like the dude on all the boxes, I guess, because that's what that looks like. Added stuff to the trust system. Estinian has been added. Awesome. Estinian's so cool. According to the level cap for avatar NPCs has been increased. The requirements for unlocking scenarios have been removed. What? But avatars and scenario mode will become available after completing the main scenario quest, Shadowbringers. Okay, that makes sense. That's cool though. The amount of experience points required for avatar to gain levels will be reduced in accordance to the downscaling of other. Okay. Yeah, it's a weird thing when they add this kind of things in games because it usually is a sign of the game is dying. Because like if you look at Final Fantasy XI, once that game was like starting to die pretty good, I'm not saying it's completely dead. Some people still play it, but I mean for the most part, it's not really on the table anymore. When that game started dying pretty good, they added NPCs that could help you party and stuff. Because in that game, you can't really do anything without partying unless you're a Beastmaster. Okay, Wondrous Trail stuff, prizes available in exchange for Chloe's gold certificate commendations. So nothing really there. Sightseeing log, Skywatch NPC log. Okay, of course the level cap is increased by 90. Reaper and Sage drops. Oh yeah. Oh, that is so cool. Yeah, Reapers look really freaking awesome. But honestly, after I saw Yoshi talking about them in the last live letter, I'm not super excited about them, to be honest. Because what I was thinking the Reaper was going to be, if you played Final Fantasy XI, in Final Fantasy XI they had the Dark Knight, and it was a DPS class, not a tank. And it used Soul Eater to basically do damage to itself and then increase the damage of its next attack or something like that. Basically like all the Dark Knights in the previous Final Fantasy games where you sacrificed HP to increase your damage. And I was figuring Reaper would be kind of like a melee version of Red Mage with that kind of mechanic, which turned out to be somewhat true. It kind of does play like a melee version of a Red Mage with the way that their point system works, but it doesn't do the Dark Knight abilities so that were in the old Final Fantasy, so it doesn't quite appeal to me so much, but I will definitely check it out eventually. Okay, Sage Healer. Yeah, Sage it's really sparkly and cool. It looks cool, and it's like, it reminds me, and probably everyone else, like a Discipline Priest in WoW, basically where you heal people with your damage to give shields around people. The way it works in WoW, if you didn't play that, is that you would basically, when you healed someone directly, it would put a buff on them, and then, or there's a few other ways to do it too, and then that buff would last for like 30 seconds or so, and then when you did damage to an enemy, like a percentage of the damage you did to the enemy would put bubbles or heal people that had the effect. I was thinking about it wrong. It's actually when you bubble someone, when you put a bubble on someone, then it gives you the buff. Then when you do damage to an enemy, it heals people with the buff from bubbling them. I'm assuming this is going to work exactly the same way, because I can't think of any other way to do it, but yeah, it's going to appeal to a lot of DPS people that want to dip their toes into healing, but those that haven't healed in Final Fantasy XIV are in for a rude awakening if they're just trying to skip queues, because healing in Final Fantasy XIV is really difficult. It's probably the most difficult role. Not probably, it is, in my opinion, most difficult role. Okay, anyways, it looks really cool though. I'm definitely going to check it out. All right. New job actions have been added. Sick pet action has been removed. The use of limit breaks will no longer cancel action combos. I didn't know that was a thing. The range of effective healer limit break has been increased from 30 to 50 yalms. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Not too often that you really use that though. In order to curb the inflation of game data such as HP and damage, values used in combat calculations have been downscaled, of course. So they've already been talking about that whole. Yeah, this is all just talking about downscaling everything, which eventually you'll always have to do in an MMO, lest you start getting into the billions of damage, and it's just, why not just turn it into a fraction, or not a fraction of what it was. It's happened in WoW like 4 times now, I think. Yep, this is just all downscaling. The armory bonus granted below 80 has been increased from 50 to 100%. Ooh, that's nice. That's real nice. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like oh, and the XP from defeating and fate rewards. So it looks like they're giving the XP bonus to fate. I don't know if it actually already did that, but I don't think it did. So that's cool. So they're really pushing to make fates a viable way of leveling now. That's cool. But yeah, that XP bonus is gonna be juicy. All right, new enemies. Okay, so that is the most bland looking deer. Yep, again, more Cambodian, Thailand looking things. Oh my god, is that a moon cactar? That is... Okay, so that's basically the coolest thing I've seen so far. This just looks like a big dog with weird scale legs, but yeah, and more Cambodian inspired stuff. This looks like that's just gonna be what this expansion is gonna be. Great. New dungeons are gonna be added. Oh, that looks cool. I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going though, with all those tentacles. Okay, that's definitely Garlemald. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's gonna be definitely in the Cambodia looking area. It looks like it's got a bunch of ferns and stuff, but the lighting makes it look really cool. And then that's the winter area we saw earlier outside Garlemald. That's cool. Oh, this is all the dungeons though, and it doesn't show which one's on the moon. I'm gonna guess this one maybe, but everything just looks like it could be in Garlemald, like these two. But I'm guessing if one was on the moon, it'd probably be this one because it looks like it's manufactured indoors, which you need it to be if you're on the moon. I don't know exactly how the moon thing is gonna work. If you're gonna be in domes or something so you could breathe, or you're gonna get some kind of magic spell or whatever. I mean, basically you have magic in the game, so everything can just be a Deus Ex Machina of whatever. Magic can just do whatever, so it doesn't matter. Okay, experience points previously earned from standard dungeon enemies will now be earned from dungeon bosses. What the okay, why would they do that? I don't understand why they did that. Does it make it... What's the point? If you're getting the same amount of experience to kill the enemies, then why... There must have been some kind of exploit that maybe bots were doing or something to level up by just doing dungeon mobs or something. I just don't understand that change. I guess it doesn't affect us because if it's the same amount of experience, but it's a weird change. Items have been taken for treasure coffers in the following dungeons have been adjusted. Okay, that doesn't matter. New trials have been added. Let's see. Hidden. So it's not... Oh, of course it wouldn't say the trials because, of course, that's the storyline. But that's cool. Unreal trials have been temporary... What? Okay, I don't know what any of that stuff is. Weapon coffer's been added to the following duties. Okay, so... Looks like they're adding weapons to some of the stuff. Players will now receive the power of the echo in the event all party members are incapacitated to follow trials. Okay. What is going on? I'm sorry if you can hear that on my computer. Something just got disconnected and reconnected. It might have been my controller or my... Oh, I think it was my VR goggles. Burning Field, an expansion of Stone, Sky, and Sea has been added. The Burning Field offers trials tailored to various high-level duties in which players will be able to be tasked with destroying a level 90 striking dummy. So you get a trial that is to kill a striking dummy? What? Okay. But once again, yeah, here's all the colorful India, Cambodia, Thailand looking stuff again. Oh, is that seriously gonna be... I thought this was gonna be like a moon expansion, dude. I thought it was gonna be like all cool, like moon area. and it's just the same stuff over and over again. Ugh, please don't do this to me. New elite marks have been added. Cool. Oh, cool. Players can now hunt regular and elite marks in new areas. Sage and Reaper's arms are now available. But players can now sort adventures list by job and craft class. Okay, the following additions and adjustments have been made to the Delabrum Regane. Okay, I don't know what that is. I've been playing back into the game too long. New tombstones, of course. Or tombstones. Yeah, tombstones. Okay. The Raid Finder now only lists trials and duties introduced in patch 6.0. Okay, that obviously makes sense. I think we're through most of the stuff. PvP actions for Sage and Reaper have been added. Okay, I've never PvP'd. Oh wait, no, I think I PvP'd one time when it was first introduced in Final Fantasy XIV. And first of all, I don't think MMOs should even ever be based around PvP, or like, why even add PvP to this game? It's, if you want to play PvP, but go play a game that's actually balanced around PvP, not an MMO. They're just inherently not good for PvP, in my opinion. Alright, items. Ooh, cool. That dancer stuff looks really cool. Alright. Due to the volume items added with 6.0, they'll not be listed in the patch notes. I would assume not, because that would take up half of this. Let's see, I think this is all getting into just a lot of little tiny things. Yeah, we're just going to scroll through all this because this is just all really tiny stuff about crafting. Yes, here we go. Upon release 6.0, belts will be removed to Calamity Salvager. Right, because they are removing belts for some reason. I wonder what they're... why? Just... what is the point of that? Maybe just because it's easier. They're like, you know what? If we don't have to make one more piece of gear, then that's less work for them. So why not, I guess? But I hope it just doesn't turn into them just constantly taking stuff away. And, you know, you look at like Morrowind, it had like each spalder was a piece of armor, and like each earring and each ring and like each little piece of everything was a piece of armor. And then you go down to Skyrim and there's like 6 slots of everything. So this is just stuff about changing the belts. Yeah, more belt stuff. I think we're just getting down to a bunch of nothing now. Yeah. This far down to tell us that the disciples of Hand and Land have increased to 90. Yes, of course. This is just more XP stuff about crafting. This is all script, more crafting. It's basically just the things you would think would be added, like adding more crafting abilities and stuff like that. So I'm just going to scroll past this. And just more crafting, more crafting. High quality items. Right, they're removing that or some shit. Fishing is changing. What is this? Okay. They're adding spearfishing. Oh, there already was spearfishing? I didn't know that was a thing, so I can't really comment on this. I had no idea spearfishing was a thing. So I guess, what? So it's a mini game now? I didn't know that you could ever spearfish, so. It looks like a mobile game now. Or, that's cool, I guess. I am a fisher, so I guess I need to learn that. New mounts. Can't really. Oh, cool. That's a really derpy looking mount. New minions. Oh, is that Crabrave minion? Okay. New chocobo barding, of course, and it looks just like all the other Cambodian, Thailand, India stuff. I don't like that aesthetic. Those wings are pretty freaking sweet. That can make a lot of people happy. Hopefully those you can actually obtain in the game and not on the stupid shop. Okay, added a market board to Old Charlane, of course. So Old Charlane, okay, so that means usually we're the market board. That's going to be the main town. So I'm glad to see that it's going to be Charlayan, because Charlayan looks way more just like of a fantasy area rather than going to Cambodia. So that gives me a little hope for the game, or the expansion. Okay, this is just telling you where you can teleport. Guild cost for teleport has been adjusted. I'm guessing that's going to mean the prices are going to go up, since more guilds probably going to be adjusted. How much drops? World map has been updated to include the 3 great continents. Woo boy! Now we can see them all. All right, it's just showing. Party list will now display the target of spells cast by his members. Oh, that's cool. That's adds a little bit of more depth. New dungeons available for Explorer mode. I actually don't know what the hell Explorer mode even is. Is that just a mode where you go in and there's no monsters or something? I didn't even know that was a thing. Group G-pose. I actually don't know anything about G-poses. I've seen people use G-poses and post the pictures and stuff, but I just don't know how to do any of it, so hope that's some cool stuff. I'm assuming it is. Looks cool. The duty recorder. What is the duty recorder? This is stuff that I just don't know what is, so I'm just going to skip past it. Oh, okay, so they're adding features of the PS4 and PS5 controllers to PC. That's cool if you use PlayStation controllers. I personally like the Xbox controller better. I like the Switch controller really good too, but I don't use it for Final Fantasy. Honestly, I was always a PlayStation guy when I was a younger kid, but I haven't bought consoles in a really long time other than the Switch. And I just really like the one stick up here, one stick down here better than holding both sticks like this. Because you're usually mainly using your left stick and the buttons. So it makes sense that like your hands are naturally like just already in that position. Whereas on the PlayStation, you're putting both your fingers where they're not naturally. So I don't get why people like that. All right, this is probably gonna start a flame war for people that love PlayStation controllers. Just kidding, no one's gonna watch this. All right, this is just all little stuff again for about the UI and stuff like that, and that looks about it. So, it's like we got a bunch of changes, and we have 24 hours to see those changes, seeing if the early access goes off without a hitch. So hopefully it does, but you know how these things are. I mean, even today, all the servers went, or all the duty servers, and basically couldn't queue for anything for about an hour. That happened, you know, at about 5 hours before servers went down. So hopefully that's not some kind of foretelling of how the servers are going to act when Endwalker comes out. Hopefully it's just a fluke, but we shall see. Anyways, I will see you guys. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming the first couple days of the expansion, just because I want to just soak it in. So I might see you guys in a few days. Hope you guys have a good time, a good Endwalker release. And if you want to see any other videos, stick around to the end. I'll give you some suggestions, or Google will, YouTube's algorithm. And in that case, peace.